Hello and welcome to a brand new Escape from Tarkov video. I'm your host, Apoc Gaming. Today I'm bringing a brand new type of video where I do a post-raid analysis from the perspective of being a self-defender in the war-torn city of Tarkov. For some of you, I may be repeating myself here, but if you're new, here's how I enjoy playing Escape from Tarkov. I'm a hired private military contractor, willingly putting myself in harm's way to extract information, perform various tasks for the traders, be it dirty work or justified work, depending on from whose perspective you look at. And just overall treating this game as if it were what I believe it to be, a hardcore realistic tactical shooter. So for the duration of this video, we'll be looking at nighttime encounters over the course of 2 raids from the perspective of being an active self-defender at the Interchange location. I'm by no means a professional, but I do enjoy professional self-defense analytic style videos, and thus this video will be in the same vein, breaking down each encounter from the perspective of a tactical, immersive, active self-defense video. Today we've got an MP5 running 9x19 Parabellum AP rounds, 2 tasks, skiers the Chumming, which involves slaying 5 PMCs at nighttime / early morning on Interchange location, and Prapor's Punisher Part 5 task, slay 10 PMCs wearing Paca soft armor and a 6B47 helmet. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. If you enjoy this type of video, do me a favor and leave me your feedback, drop a like, and consider subscribing. We're only 9 subs away from 100 subscriptions, and that would mean a lot to me. Thank you for being here. Let's get into it. Now this is where we're going to have our first encounter. So notice that it's really dark. He's taking his time, picking corners. You want to have that self-preparedness. Basically sweeping around every corner, sweeping your vectors as if there could be a threat around any of them. And here you see the first guy come in right to left. He goes prone to take some shots, but while he did land, looks like maybe a couple there, he didn't lead the target as well, as the target was startled, had the fibs factor set in, and started moving right to left. Now you can see the target moved over to the left. It took our guy a little longer than I would like to have spotted the target. So now let's slow down again. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more time taken here because the target had not acquired our good guy in this instance. A little more time taken to make sure they get that reticle aligned on sight. Looks like he might have rushed things a little bit, and there was also a little bit of bad luck as he moved right to left right as soon as he shot. So as soon as our bad guy here gets shot at, and once again he moves left to right and takes cover. Well, we got some suppressatory frag grenades going out so that he can get a better angle. Get back here in this dark nook. I do like that. And once again, he gets prone so that he's got a really good brace. And he hears some more gunshots going off throughout the rest of the mall. So he's carefully sweeping, not holding a peek angle for too long, because who knows if the bad guy's lurking around in the shadows out there. Throws another grenade. It's more to see if somebody gets going and running. It's not really, you don't really know where the target is. So you're not really actively throwing it at the target, but you know, if it lands kind of close to them, or maybe they hear that frag go out, maybe that'll get some running started. So looks like our guy here is not sure if the known threat has taken cover, is maybe laying down in some shadows, maybe laying prone underneath a truck back there, or has just completely left. But I like what our guy's doing here. He's not pushing up aggressively because of all the unknown variables in this encounter. So he's gonna get that light out. Now some time has passed, so he's just gonna peek a little bit more, shine some light on some of those dark areas. But some time has lapsed here, and no audio profiles, no movement, no sign of any of our bad guy. So I like what we do here. We're gonna back off, reassess the situation, and just kind of get into a nice little comfortable, safe spot behind cover. top off a mag, reassess, and develop a plan of action. So we've got some movement upstairs on some wood. You got some local scavengers shouting in Russian. That's above. And we have an unknown target out there. So I like what our guy does here. He recognizes that the lights are shining on his location should he come out of this little dark cubby here. So he backs off, falls back. Make sure his left and right are clear, and he just gets the hell out of there while still maintaining that level of threat that could be where we initially engaged the bad guy. So he's moving left to right, still has that MP5 shouldered at the ready, but is actively moving cover to cover to get the hell out of there. Get at a different angle, get up into the mall. It's just gonna get a little ADS there just to get some sights downrange just in case our target is indeed still up and in the area. But it doesn't seem like he is, so he's got his eyes set on a new approach. All right, so slowly moving up these escalators so as to not make very much noise. This is when our next encounter happens. We hear running to our right. Got shots further into the mall to the left. Don't really have to worry about those at the moment. But again, running to the right, what I want you to pay attention here is how quickly an encounter can escalate. Now we've got it frozen here. You can see there's a flashlight shining right on our guy here, and things escalate very quickly. And so preparedness is key here. Being prepared for combat to use deadly force. Now that guy just took one to the face and his face planted. I like what our guy does here. He didn't initially run for a new cover, but he also took his time just for a split second after shooting just to clear the initial area, and then he made a dash for the doors and was immediately up with gun ready for possible extra threats. Now the goal here isn't to go see what the hell that kind of loot that guy had. It's to survive. It's to get over there safely. And so to do that, we need to be creative about displacing from our shots, and we also need to be covering and sweeping our sectors as we move and make our approach to the dead body. Now, as a rule of thumb, in a deadly force situation, and especially a hostile environment, there's always more than one. So I like what our guy does here. He moves up. He's not constantly moving, making a lot of noise, so much noise that he shrouds his own audio profiles with his own, but he's listening up for extras. After determining that there are no more audio profiles, it sounds safe. When it's time to move, you move with intent, you move with deliberation, you move very combat ready so that you can save your ass from a future encounter. What we're going to see here, again, moving cover to cover and the art of self-preparedness. Acting as if there could be an enemy, a threat at any location. Now, this forklift does not provide hard cover. Bullets pass right through that, but it does provide concealment. And so what we see here is preparedness playing out and working in our good guy's favor here. Now, this next encounter, the enemy is too far even for contacts to pick up the footsteps, but because this guy is taking it easy, taking it slow, cover to cover, sweeping his sectors, checking out his sight lines, he spots this guy and is able to make very nice, precise shots. And that guy just took a very nice, precise shot right to the face. Notice he didn't spray his MP5 at that long-distance shot. He did some nice trigger tapping, and the guy planted face first into the asphalt. And again here, I want to talk about displacement after you make a lot of shots and threat level assessment. Look, you don't know if this guy's a lone actor, so taking a roundabout creative way that's different from where you took that shot, took him down, I think that's incredibly important to maintaining survival. As you can see here, our good guy's got a really big backpack full of some very heavy objects. Car battery, propane tank, fuel, an AK, shotgun on his shoulder sling. Now the game plan has changed a good bit because we're a lot slower and a lot less mobile moving forward. So now we got running, and we got two things to think about here. We're really slow, and we want to get to cover. We want to be combat ready, but we don't want to be so loud and sprint so as for this bad guy, who probably doesn't know about us, to hear us. So we want to set up an ambush quickly but quietly enough to be ready for combat. So we don't know what kind of threat we're facing here. We just know we heard an enemy running. Just like that, he hits the ground to the floor. We got another guy dead. Secondary threat assessment. I love it. Bring that light out. Only heard one pair of footsteps. Doesn't necessarily mean you're alone. So now we're thinking about freeing up some weight, getting some hydration and some snacks. And once again, we hear some footsteps. Threat assessment, threat down. So here's a situation where you really want to pay attention to those audio cues. We just heard some gunshots out back. Sounded like they were outdoors. We still want to clear our immediate surroundings, as that's the most imminent potential for a threat. But we do have a known threat. Active shooter out back. And so we need to play accordingly. We want to be prepared both on our close quarters, but especially where we know there's an actual threat outside. So we want to proceed with caution. We don't know exactly how far away this threat is. So we clear that. Continue to do threat assessment. Try to find out where that bogey is. I want to say here too, it's important that this person is walking far back up against the building so as to limit the amount of sight line from anybody out in the field down below on the ramp. Now, I would not recommend looting this crate right now while we have an active known shooter out there somewhere in the distance, somewhere in the near vicinity. But it worked out. No harm, no foul, I suppose. I'm going to get around this corner over here. Going to get some good sight lines out on that field. This is where we see a moving threat. Nice controlled tapping. We continued to lay into that threat until we had a confirmed kill on that bogey. Now those were some long distance shots, so we were doing some more precise tapping. They were also on the run. They weren't actively shooting at us. So as soon as they went prone, it was just continue to go down to town until you know for sure that that threat's down. Now while the good guy here is topping off a mag, we do hear some running off in the distance. It's close enough for our contacts to pick it up. Still listening behind this cover, listening, trying to gather as much information as possible. We got all this loot. We really want to get out of here. We want to get out of here safely though. You want to finish a raid strong. You don't want to let your guard down. So using cover, we don't know where the footsteps are. Assessing all threat levels. Now right here, you'll notice that our good guy has really no cover. Now there's not really a whole lot of cover up here on the top of the ramp, but if you're caught out in the open like this with a guy aiming right at you, you better be ready to put some shots on target and you better have him land. Now, starts moving to his left, which is great. He recognizes that his head might still be exposed. He might be silhouetting, so he ducks down, does a couple more shots down there. Now, our bad guy does a run to right to left, throws a couple shots, misses, and now we have a rundown and trying to figure out where this threat's going to go. So our bad guy's going to be banging around, clanging around in some of these connexes. This is something where situational and environmental awareness is going to really help you out. Because notice those green doors right there to your left. Tells our good guy here that he can't have access on this slanted green connex to get up here. So, but he does hear him run to the left, peeks out, and taps him right in the head. Good clean shot. He had the high ground, very good advantage. So what does he do now? Assesses for more threats. He's in a vulnerable spot, recognizes that, so he sprints down to the bottom to get down to some more cover. And he does something pretty smart here. I like this right here. Doesn't go immediately for the loot. Never really do that. He drops his backpack so that he has more mobility, more stamina. That must have been the Connex that he was running around in. So he's still assessing for threats, but he's also wanting to do this quick. He made a lot of shots on the first target and now this target. And so he wants to get down to his body, get this loot as quick as possible. What he's going to do is grab his backpack, throw it on his, and then run back over and retrieve his backpack. Figure out which loot is worthy of taking out, back in the safety of that corner, and get the hell out of there. So here, once again, we're back in another night raid. Now, you don't necessarily need night vision to pull off some of these night raids. You just need a nice tactical flashlight, play it nice and easy, nice and slow. But what we're going to see here is how quickly something can turn into a really bad situation, and how you have to play it cool, and you still have to keep the fight in even if you're wounded. So he comes up here, here's some gunshots inside the upper level of Ollie. Peeking around the corner, seeing what he can see in the dim light. There is a war zone raging on somewhere else. But right now, we got to clear and assess the threat level on our level and our immediate surroundings. Now, the visibility is really poor right now. Try to gather as much information as possible whilst on that light. Now, we are at a bit of a disadvantage here because we did spawn into this raid late. We got running up above. Kind of a distraction right now. Trying to figure out, were those in fact footsteps upstairs that I could hear somehow through all the concrete, or were they outside coming in, about to flank me on my backside? So that guy did manage to stick around in that fight long enough to get a Mosin round right into our thorax. Actually, went right through the arm and then penetrated the thorax. We're real banged up. We're going to be going through the rest of this raid unless we find some kind of a medical surgery kit to fix that arm up. But we were really close to death there. Staying into the fight, not letting a big surprise ambush throw us off and make us panic. Stay in the fight, give it all you got. Get to cover, do some first aid, assess further threats. We're going to fast forward here. We're upstairs across from an electronics store. This is a known hotspot. We got dead bodies, a massacre that's already taken place here. There's one dead guy here. I think there's at least 2 dead bodies in the hallway. And what we're going to see here is, if you're in a hotspot especially, you got to be on high alert and ready for any kind of thing that can be thrown at you. Using all information available visually and especially audio. So while we're looting this guy here, we hear a really loud shot going on. It's a Mossberg shotgun going off downstairs in Ollie. So we're gonna eat that MRE and clear some space up here. Take what we need. Just like that, respond on a dime to the sound of somebody running up those escalators. Get ready, full auto, put that target down, finish that chumming task, and get even closer to Punisher Part 5 completion. And that's going to do it for this. In case you were wondering, the person that I'm analyzing here was in fact me, Apoc Gaming. So if you like this style of video and this kind of commentary, post-raid analysis, for the most part, think I did a pretty good job assessing threat levels, being prepared, taking the fights that I know that I have an advantage on. Could have done some things better, but overall I think we did a pretty good job. So if you do like this style of video, please consider leaving a thumbs up, interacting with the channel by commenting, and of course if you would like to see more content, consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Till then, I'll see you in the next one.